16 pounds. This young man is undefeated in 17 professional bouts with 13 knockouts. All the way from Pomona, California, ladies and gentlemen, here is Richie Sandoval. Sandoval. And his opponent in the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks with the white trim, he is weighing in at 112 3/4 pounds. This gentleman has a record of 16 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw with 13 knockouts. He is a native of Mexicali, Mexico, and now residing in Sandoval, California. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Alonzo B. Strongbow Gonzalez. Gonzalez.
I want you boys to listen to my commands. As long as you're punching, I'll leave you alone. But if you hold or you tie each other up, I'm going to ask for a break, and I want a clean break. But protect yourself at all times. Don't get hit coming out of a clinch. In case there's a knockdown, whoever scores that knockdown has to go to further suture corner, and he has to remain there until I tell him to come out. Shake hands now, come out fighting, good luck to both of you.
Both of these super flyweights, Alonzo Gonzalez and Richie Sandoval from California, making their first appearance in the East, and they have a collision. Sandoval in the white trunks there, Tony Serta behind him, his manager. There's Alonzo Gonzalez. He wears the blue trunks. He is 23 years old. Richard Sandoval is 22 years old. Now Sandoval in the white, an undefeated bantamweight, says this will be his last flyweight encounter. He is 17-0 with 13 knockouts. Gonzalez in the blue is 16-4-1 with 13 knockouts.
And Sandoval has fought at this weight before and fought the lower weight fighters like Ian Clyde, for instance, whom he scored a 10-round victory over on ESPN. So this isn't a bad weight necessarily, but he likes to be a bantamweight.
Sandoval tipped the scales at 116. Gonzalez is 112 3/4. Here in New Jersey, they'll score it on the round system. If you're scoring at home, keep a supplemental 5-point tally in case there's a deadlock in rounds. That's how they'll break it up here. There is a 3 knockdown rule. And obviously, plenty of room in this 22-foot ring in which to manipulate.
And that'll be a factor in our main event coming up next, Montellano against Bogner. Montellano, good boxer, may use this ring. Both these fighters are known to be slow starters, especially Gonzalez, but Sandoval, too, sometimes gets off slowly.
That left hook by Gonzalez blocked by Sandoval. We have pretty much chronicled the pro career of Richie Sandoval. It takes a left hook on the head. And with each fight, Sandoval seems to hit with more and more power. He has always been quick.
He's got great boxing ability, and in fact, in the amateurs, in his many amateur fights, he was known primarily as a boxer, but as a pro, he's knocked some people out and shown us, indeed, good power.
Gonzalez had a strong right hand at the end of that exchange, and we're informed by the New Jersey Commission that the 3 knockdown rule has been waived. And both of these fighters have high knockout ratios. Sandoval with 13 knockouts in the 17 straight wins. He caught Gonzalez with a left hook in the middle of that exchange. Gonzalez with 13 knockouts in his 16 wins. Less than a minute to go in the opening round, scheduled for 10.
And the ploy of Gonzalez to back up and try and counterpunch against Sandoval, nothing new. He has been a good counterpuncher before, and that is what he wants to do in this fight.
Gonzalez with a couple of shots on the waistband, then a left hook to the head. And Paul Venti told him to watch for a low blow.
And at an earlier stage in his career, Sandoval was often guilty of lunging in, much less so now. In the second Harold Petty fight was when he really abandoned that and got rid of that bad habit.
He lunges with that lead left foot like a fencer, and perhaps, as you say, sometimes too far, where he's off balance.
Occasionally he'll do that, but much less so now than in the past.
There you saw him thrusting out the left hand, also the left foot moving at the same time, getting power from the back foot, the right foot. Sandoval with a couple of quick jabs as we head for the bell. Number 2 of a scheduled 10-rounder between super flyweights Richie Sandoval in the white, throwing out the jab and catching Alonzo Gonzalez in the midsection. Gonzalez in the blue. Sandoval last fought August 3rd in Los Angeles, scored a second-round knockout over Jose Luis Garcia. Meanwhile, Gonzalez lost his last fight A split decision over 12 rounds to world-rated Enrique Sanchez in the Dominican Republic as long ago as June 28th. So it's been a while since he's been in the ring, and Gonzalez says that in the Dominican Republic, he was treated unfairly. Apparently, he knocked Sanchez out of the ring, and he says the referee helped Sanchez back in.
He mentioned that to me today, and I guess, well, I guess you don't feel like you're getting a fair shake when they do that.
Sandoval using the jab to keep Gonzalez away. But Gonzalez in the opening round looks sharp, counterpunching.
Well, that's obviously his plan, and we see him now wanting Sandoval to lunge in, get off first so that he can counterpunch. And he said he doesn't expect to get going in the first couple of rounds of this fight, but he thinks by about the 6th or so, he'll be strong, and he thinks he can knock Sandoval out. That remains to be seen.
Left hook by Gonzalez as Sandoval came forward. Halfway through the second round.
Sandoval continuing to use that jab, mixing it up to both the body and the head. And just a moment ago, he landed a good right hand as well.
Sandoval showing great caution, scores with a lead right hand. That right by Gonzalez missed. So Sandoval changed up after throwing the jab a lot. He led with a right hand and scored with it.
Well, he surprised Gonzalez with it. And you see that left hand, it's like a rapier, just darting out and hitting Gonzalez quite a bit in this round.
And unlike many fighters, Richie Sandoval throws that jab to the body.
Yes, indeed. And I think it's a wonderful weapon because it does open things up and it does make the fighter think. Good lead right by Sandoval and another one. Richie is showing us just about everything in his arsenal. And Gonzalez, because he's waiting to counterpunch, is really not doing much offensively.
Final seconds, second round. Gonzalez really laid back in this round, letting Sandoval get off first, and Richie piling up the points, no doubt. A left to the head, a right to the body by Sandoval. We'll be right back with more from Atlantic City. In the second round, Richie Sandoval with a lead right hand, the best punch of the round. Back live, round number 3, and Gonzalez has just scored with a right to the head of Sandoval. Sandoval with a countering right hand on the head of Gonzalez. And Gonzalez tags Sandoval, backed him up there for a second. We have a lot of mind games going on there right now.
It's a real chess match, and the first 2 rounds, I think, went to Richie Sandoval. The second one much more decisively than the first. So Gonzalez, true to his word, has been a little slow in starting here, but you can't give too many of those rounds away.
In between rounds, Tony Serta in the corner of Richie Sandoval kept reminding him that Gonzalez is a counterpuncher, so to be wary.
In a fight like this, you can just see the wheels turning in the heads of these two fighters. Look at this. As they haven't thrown a punch in about 30 seconds. They've been feinting for 30 seconds.
A right hand by Sandoval.
You can see how it must feel.
Gonzalez playing the spider there to the fly of Sandoval.
And he's been unable to lure Sandoval in to hit him. There was a good right hand by Gonzalez.
And Paul Bendy reminds Gonzalez about hitting below the belt. Gonzalez eats a left hook, and he is playing a waiting game here, allowing Sandoval to get off first. We're halfway through round number 3.
In this sequence, he has landed a few counter shots. Not really good shots, but he's landed. There's a left hook, and down is Sandoval.
Like dynamite, a left hook by Gonzalez. Sandoval up quickly, shaking off the cobwebs now as Paul Benty gives him the mandatory 8 count. And Gonzalez comes storming from the neutral corner. Couple of body shots. He's got time to take out Sandoval. Sandoval now in a defensive pose for the first time in the fight. And for the first time that I can remember in his undefeated career.
He was down once before, and we saw him on ESPN, but this time he was genuinely hurt.
A right to the body by Gonzalez. Sandoval just holding on here. He needs the bell. He wants to survive the round and then start anew.
Good defensive skills by Sandoval in this sequence.
Less than 30 seconds to go. Gonzalez so far hasn't been able to capitalize on the knockdown.
Sandoval is still dangerous, and Gonzalez is aware of that.
They were in the middle of an exchange, and Gonzalez, the sharpshooting counterpuncher, caught Sandoval with a left hook, and the floor came up quickly.
And Sandoval has got his act together, and he landed a good right hand that stunned Gonzalez.
A lead right hand by Sandoval just before the bell, so he shows us he's got something left, even though he hit the canvas.
As you look into Sandoval's corner, and with Tony Serta and Jimmy Montoya in there, they warned him he's a counterpuncher, look out.
Here's the knockdown again, and watch for a left hand by Gonzalez in the blue.
Just waiting for Sandoval to come in, and he'll come with the left hook. There it is.
Sandoval had that right hand cocked, ready to throw it, but Gonzalez threw it underneath the right hand. Bang, right there.
A short left hook, and a testimony to Richie Sandoval is the fact that not only was he able to get up after that, he was able to use his defensive skills to last the rest of this round, and by the end of the round had himself hurt Gonzalez with the right hand.
So coming off that knockdown in the third round, we're ready for round 4, scheduled for 10. Richie Sandoval, undefeated at 17-0 in the white trunks, had to get off the deck in the previous round. Alonzo Gonzalez in the blue.
And that last round had to be given to Gonzalez with that big left hook and a rally after it. So I've got to fight 2-1 for Sandoval.
Now let's see if both fighters stick to their game plan here. Lead right hand by Sandoval again.
And you've made a good point. Will Gonzalez continue to stand back and counterpunch, or will he be lured into a slugging match with Sandoval and because of that knockdown?
Sandoval appears to be clear-eyed. He showed us that he still has power despite the knockdown when he wrapped Gonzalez with a lead right hand just before the bell, marking the end of round 3. Lead right hand by Sandoval, and there's ample proof that he has a lot left despite the knockdown. Right hand by Gonzalez, but Sandoval pushed him sideways.
Certainly Gonzalez has won Sandoval's respect. And I would, if I was Gonzalez, I would back myself into that corner again and wait for Sandoval to come in. He's had his best success when he's done that.
Sandoval scoring repeatedly with lead right hand. And Gonzalez continues to wait. Right hand by Sandoval again.
Gonzalez went to the body after he hurt Sandoval, after he knocked him down. And he thought, I think, that Richie would bring his hands down and he'd hit him to the head, but Richie kept his hands up and did a good job defensively. Let's see if Gonzalez goes downstairs again.
Less than a minute to go here in round 4. Sandoval with that wide open stance.
And you can see that he's more wary about waiting and throwing punches, but there was a good right hand by Richie.
And Gonzalez continues to shake off those right hands. They have no effect. Left to the body by Sandoval, and a right, but back comes Gonzalez with a right uppercut. So when they get at close quarters, those fists fly.
You get the feeling Gonzalez is a time bomb waiting to explode again.
Final seconds, round 4. We'll be back with more of this super flyweight action on Saturday night at the fight. Sandoval in the white. Between rounds, Jimmy Montoya, the trainer for Sandoval, reminded him that when he is inside with Gonzalez, to dip low when he moves away. He was caught by a left hook on the head for a knockdown 2 rounds ago because he was straight up. And that's how Gonzalez was able to reach him. So he reminded him, when he's ducking away, to duck away low. And let's look for that.
No, that's good advice, although the punch that knocked him out was kind of a left uppercut, left hook, so that might hit him however he's backing out if he doesn't cover up. In Gonzalez's corner right above us, they were telling him to shoot the jab and then use the left hook as a counter shot, because that's the one that put Sandoval down.
Now, Sandoval is leading with the right hand. Gonzalez is looking to counter with the left hook. Al, how about the scoring?
I've got Sandoval ahead 3-1. In the last round, Gonzalez was very inactive, and Sandoval took it in my estimation.
There you saw the countering left by Gonzalez as Sandoval tried to lead right hand. It is not happening often. Sandoval's getting away with the lead right.
You know, it's interesting, Sandoval's certainly the favorite in this fight, and yet because of the style of Gonzalez, he's forced to make the fight and take all the chances, really. You wonder what would happen if he just stood in the center of the ring. Would Gonzalez come to him? I don't know.
Then they could do the cha-cha.
Yeah.
Richie Sandoval from a fighting family. His father, Cristano, was a tough Mexican pro. Richie began boxing at 7 years of age, and he won lots of amateur titles, winning 167 amateur fights, losing only 11. He was the 1980 U.S. Olympic trials champion at 112 pounds. The United States did not go to Moscow, therefore he didn't get involved in the Olympics and turned pro. Sandoval, two-time national Golden Gloves champion at 106 pounds, two-time national AAU champ at 106 and 112 pounds. So a glittering amateur record for Richie Sandoval in the white.
And again, Sandoval getting off first, and now Gonzalez having a tough time hitting him with those counter shots.
Al, perhaps Gonzalez is giving Sandoval too much of a lead here.
He's giving him quite a lead in our minds.
We'll be back with round 6 if you keep it where it is.
Bring out your best.
I wasn't drafted till the 7th round. They don't even know my name.
Bring out your best. Budweiser alive. Bring out your best. Budweiser alive. Bring out your best.
The best never comes easy.
Crowder, huh?
That's why there's nothing else like it.
Budweiser Light.
And then double up your hook. So bang to the head.
We are looking into the corner of Richie Sandoval as we take a break between rounds 5 and 6.
Because he's throwing it. Why is he barely missing with a hook?
Touch your hero here with you. Good luck. Just relax a little on me. Good job, dude. 2 seconds.
Now we're in the corner of Alonzo Gonzalez. He's from Sepulveda, California, while Richie Sandoval is from Pomona.
6th round,
round 6, scheduled for 10, couple of super flyweights. The action thus far has been quick and brisk, with Gonzalez decking Sandoval with a left hook in round number 3.
They could have taken a train to fight each other in California. Instead, they flew all across the country to meet in Atlantic City.
And now they're in a track meet.
Yeah, right.
A very quick pace. Now, we'll see if any changes by Gonzalez. In the last few seconds, we saw Gonzalez take the lead, getting off first. Maybe he's going to switch his tactics.
Well, as you pointed out, he probably has given away most of these first 5 rounds, and it's a 10-round fight. He's relying on the fact that he can knock Sandoval out, and he put him down, but if that doesn't happen, he's got a problem. There's my scoring. I've got it 4-1 for Sandoval, so that's an indication that Sandoval's probably taken most of those early rounds.
Left-right combination by Sandoval, and then a left hook by Sandoval, all connected on the head of Gonzalez in the blue. And now Alonzo continues to wait. Goes back to the waiting style, looking to counterpunch Sandoval. And he didn't in that last exchange. He took 3 shots.
Go to right, Fred.
And now we see Gonzalez becoming a little bit more aggressive.
Right hand by Sandoval. After some very good defensive work by Sandoval, parrying the punches of Gonzalez with his glove.
And that is what kept him in this fight when he was knocked down, in my opinion anyway, in that third round. His defensive work was really impeccable afterwards. Kept his composure extremely well, and he was hurt with that left hand.
Notice how Gonzalez is setting up. He's setting up toward Sandoval's left hand. He wants to throw that right hand over his left. Left-right combination by Sandoval, and that caught Gonzalez on the chin.
And you get a good example here of how Sandoval steps into the jab. It adds power to the punch. Some would call that lunging, but he gets in and he gets out pretty quick, so he's not really susceptible to the overhand counter right as much as you would think.
Gonzalez takes a hard jab. He hasn't been able to counter that jab. Remember, his most effective punch was a left hook. Caught Sandoval when they were at close quarters. So far, Gonzalez has not been able to counter with the right.
That's right. He has not been able to come over that jab, and part of it is that Sandoval's doubling up on the jab, which tends to nullify the counter right.
Coming up is round 7. Here in Atlantic City, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, the WBA's lightweight champion, watching this battle between these two super flyweights. Coming up, a couple of lightweights who are in the top 10. Our featured bout of the evening, scheduled for 10 rounds, Kenny Bang Bang Bogner against Gonzo Montanaro. Right hand by Gonzalez on the head of Sandoval. And Gonzalez got away with a shot below the belt, out of the view of Paul Venti, the referee.
He's landed several shots low and got a warning early in the fight from Venti for it. I don't think intentionally. He's trying to go to the body, and Sandoval does such a good job of covering up that inevitably those punches land a little low. Gonzalez's corner wants him to get off a little quicker now. They do not want him to. They said, don't stand and wait so much.
Left hook by Sandoval. Right hand by Sandoval. Gonzalez with a couple of right hands to the head. So in that flurry, Gonzalez was able to launch his right hand a couple of times.
But not really as effectively as he'd like, I don't think. And Sandoval's still landing the cleaner, sharper punches in this fight.
We're halfway through round 7.
The intrigue in this fight is that we know Gonzalez can hurt Sandoval because he knocked him down in the third. And that's what keeps this fight interesting, despite the fact that it's been pretty one-sided for Sandoval.
And Gonzalez had plenty of time in that round, but it did not capitalize.
I'm sure he's going to look back on that as a real important moment in his boxing career, because a win over Sandoval for him tonight would be golden.
Less than a minute to go in the round. Sandoval continues to peck away with the jab and occasionally throws a right-hand lead.
Let's go.
Gonzalez's hands are much slower than they were earlier in the fight. When he tries to counter now, it's just not as effective because he's just not punching as quickly.
Both fighters unmarked. And you can't say that Sandoval is beating up Gonzalez. He isn't at all. He is just pecking away.
He's not winning these rounds by a tremendous margin, but he's winning them. Good left hook by Sandoval.
And that was a wallop. That caught Gonzalez flush on the side of the head. Gonzalez did some slashing to the body, but he hangs in the corner waiting for Sandoval to be wide open. And so far, it hasn't happened since the third round when he decked Sandoval. So we grind on Saturday night at the fight. Back live, round 8, scheduled for 10. One knockdown in the fight. Sandoval hit the deck in the third round.
Some pretty generic advice from Jimmy Montoya in the corner. Get him out of here somehow. Usually Montoya's a little more specific than that. But they want Sandoval, I'm sure, to try and knock out Gonzalez because they know he's dangerous. I don't believe, though, I don't know if you agree with me, I don't believe that Sandoval has really had him hurt in this fight. He's had him stunned, but I don't think he's ever really had him hurt.
Yeah, I agree with you, Al. And Gonzalez is coiled there for a counter punch, and we keep waiting for it to happen. We saw it once, and Sandoval went down.
And as we look at my scoring, we see that the only round I believe that he won was the one where he knocked him down. Sandoval has pecked away in all the other rounds and pretty much dominated.
I think at this point, if Gonzalez throws another low blow, they are going to do something about it. Paul Venti with his third warning.
And there have been repeated low blows, so I would not be uncalled for.
A left hook by Gonzalez and then a right hand, both connected on Sandoval's head.
And there was that low blow you talked about. I guess Venti didn't see that one.
Right hand lead by Sandoval, and that cracked on the chin of Gonzalez. Halfway through round number 8, and if you just tuned in, you'd never guessed that Richie Sandoval was on the canvas in the third round.
Well, the other time we saw him down was against Javier Barajas. Barajas put him down in about the second round, and Sandoval got mad, got up, and just leveled Barajas. So he's been on the canvas once before as a professional.
Gonzalez simply not doing enough to impress the judges here. He continues to lay in wait, and he eats a lot of leather from Richie Sandoval in the process.
And time is not on his side. He may wait himself out of a decision here. In fact, I would think he's come close to doing that already. Putting himself in a position where a knockout is all that can save him.
Less than 30 seconds to go in the 8th round. Sandoval with 3 straight jabs on the head of Gonzalez. Coming up, the next to the last round. Epic example of a blow below the belt. Richie Sandoval in the white takes it right there. And Paul Venti warned Gonzalez, who comes out here in round number 9, and he is pressing the attack. Sensing he's behind, he is chasing Sandoval.
And he just landed 2 low punches. Let's see what Venti does. A warning.
Well, Venti showing a lot of patience. We said one more time and he might do something about it. He was very emphatic there with that warning. Sandoval took a right hand and threw out a left.
And another left below the belt line. But Gonzalez has landed a couple of good right hands in this round. So he decided he wanted to come out and try and turn things around.
Alonzo Gonzalez in the blue trunks, 16-4-1 with 13 knockouts. Began fighting at 12 years old. Had a short amateur record, 5 wins and a draw, and then he turned pro. He is 23 years old, while Richie Sandoval is 22.
And you can see Gonzalez twice. He tried left hooks as Sandoval lunged in. He's just desperate to land that punch again.
Now, in the first minute of this round, Gonzalez came out as if he was going to switch his tactics, but now he has settled back into that waiting, counter-punching posture.
Well, it could be also part of that was designed to get Sandoval to come wading in so that he could land the counter punches. Sandoval, to his credit, has not.
We're halfway through the 9th round.
Very controlled performance by Sandoval. We've watched Sandoval face these tough club fighters, fighters on the verge of being good fighters. Oh, good left hand by Sandoval, and he's improved with every fight.
Now, Paul Venti warning Sandoval about pushing Gonzalez. He caught Gonzalez spinning out of the corner with a right hand. Sandoval's been the distance only 4 times, that is over 10 rounds. Harold Petty lost twice in a split decision to Sandoval. Left right right combination by Sandoval, and Gonzalez holds on for one of the few times in the fight.
Maybe some signs of fatigue on his part, and as we said, he's fighting from a long layoff. I believe since June he hasn't fought.
Absolutely correct. Less than 30 seconds to go in the round.
And in both those petty fights, Sandoval was very strong in the final rounds, as he's showing us he is tonight.
Alonzo Gonzalez, seemingly giving away a lot of rounds, has just 3 minutes left against Richie Sandoval. We are back at Bally's Park Place Casino Hotel in Atlantic City for more of Saturday Night at the Fight, the 10th and final round between super flyweights Richie Sandoval and Alonzo Gonzalez. And apparently, well, I shouldn't say apparently, for sure, referee Paul Venti has run out of patience.
He took a point away, took the round away from Gonzalez for those repeated low blows. And you can't say he didn't warn him. And the time is now for Gonzalez. He's got to get to work now, and in my estimation, he has got to take Richie Sandoval out.
And Gonzalez waits till the 10th round to come forward. Trying to get something going now. And he eats a right hand. Certainly they must have known before now that this waiting game wasn't going to work.
Well, obviously, and I would think by the 6th or 7th round, you would think that Gonzalez would have to come forward and at least try and fight in a different style. I mean, the plan almost worked. They had Sandoval down. They had him in big trouble, but he was able to weather that storm, so you've got to change up.
To this point, Gonzalez has failed to counter with a right hand over that piston-like jab of Sandoval. He decked Sandoval with a left hook when Sandoval was half turned away from Gonzalez, and he was susceptible to a punch from the wild side. So Gonzalez's plan has not worked.
Well, really, to that extent, it certainly hasn't. And, you know, that's a good sign for Richie Sandoval's future. We mentioned the lunging, that sometimes people had caught him coming in. Gonzalez not been able to do that over that jab.
Just over a minute to go in the fight.
You can see Sandoval hitting and then getting back out of there quickly.
That right hand caught Sandoval, but Sandoval came back with a left hook and then a left jab.
And you can see that Gonzalez just not as effective when he's coming forward. Often it's the other way around. Fighters can't fight going backward. Muhammad Ali was like that. Jimmy Young made him come forward in their fight, and Ali just couldn't fight that way.
Less than 25 seconds to go in the fight. Right hand by Sandoval on the ear of Gonzalez. So except for the knockdown of Sandoval in the 3rd round, Gonzalez showed us very little.
He had his moment in this fight, but that's all it was, a moment.
And remember, if you're scoring at home, referee Paul Venti took the 9th round away from Gonzalez because of repeated low blows throughout the fight.
And for that man, Richie Sandoval, another learning experience, yet another style that he's faced. And in my opinion, Montoya and Serta have brought him along.
Defeated Richie Sandoval.
Richie Sandoval wins his 18th in a row. Alonzo Gonzalez pushed him to a full 10, knocked him down in the 3rd round, but to Sandoval's credit, he got off the deck, came back, rallied, and wins a unanimous decision. The Battle of California between these two super flyweights is boxing.
Vedette sur un ring de boxe, autant dire de recréer l'ambiance que la capitale avait connue pendant quelques temps et puis qui s'était progressivement effacée à cause des taxes. Championnat d'Europe donc des poids moyens, on vous a présenté longuement pendant les jours précédents les 2 boxeurs, Gracien Tona, selon la formule consacrée, à gauche actuellement, à droite, Kevin Finnegan. Autant vous dire tout de suite dans ce championnat prévu en 12 reprises comme le veut le nouveau règlement et non plus en 15 rounds comme c'était précédemment. Il faut vous dire qu'il n'y avait pas de